Hi there, friends. It's Kim with Kim's Memory Managers, and I just want to share with you a few quick tips and benefits and features of our Creative Memories fabulous 12-inch trimmer. Now, I know many of you already have the 12-inch trimmer. It's been out for a while. It's been really a staple of the product line, but there may be things that you don't know about that you might find very useful. First of all, let's just go over some basic features. The grid is very high contrast, which makes it very easy to see. This is unlike other trimmers that Creative Memories has had in the past. The track is double track aluminum, which keeps it very steady. You're always going to be guaranteed a perfectly straight cut. That is also a new feature for Creative Memories trimmers. The blades are stored in here, in this housing, and it's very easy to change it. There is no sharp edge there. The blade is actually encased in here, and it is engaged when you press. So it's important to remember that when you're using it, you don't just drag, because your blade is never going to engage. You press and drag to engage. So we've talked about the blade. Well, why do we care that it's interchangeable? Because we have lots of blades we could use. They're actually 8 blades. They have different cuts: wave, Victorian, scallop, decal, perforating if you want to make like a tear off, scoring for folding for cards, and then a stamping edge, which makes it look like a postage stamp. And they're all conveniently stored here on the back. This section is also used for storage of an extra mat. I don't have one right now. I need to make sure I get one, but it fits right there. All right, let's talk about the mat. The mat is the unsung hero of the trimmer. When you get your trimmer, it's going to be factory loaded with this number 1 in this position right here, the top left. You'll see that the mat has 1 and then 2, and then on this side it has 3 and 4. I kind of did that quickly, but I think you could see that my mat is currently on 4. What does that mean? Well, I was cutting for a while, a long time, hundreds and hundreds of cuts, and my cuts started to get a little rough. I know our first instinct is to think, oh, the blade needs to be sharpened. Not true. These blades go hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times before needing changed. If you get a rough cut, 9 times out of 10, you need to rotate your mat. So after you go to 1, you rotate to 2, you rotate to 3. I just recently rotated to 4. Just to give you an idea of how long these blades last, I am still on the original blade. I've just gone to my 4th edge of my mat, and they're both interchangeable. Replaceable. You can get individual replacements as needed, but that really makes it that much more durable, getting 4 uses out of this mat. Okay, another great feature here is if you're not sure where you're cutting, there are these plastic tabs in the center. Let's see if I can pull them out to make it easily. There's a clear plastic tab here with a sight line that you can put down on top of your paper so you can see exactly where you're cutting. So that helps too. All right. So some quick tips. There are some standard size measurements already with boulder lines on the grid. 3x3, 4x6 is our standard photo size. So 4.5 by 6.5 is a mat that we often use, or of course 5x7 or for photo sizes. So those are nice that they're imprinted. It gives you that cutting guide already. All right, a couple of quick tips. Let's say you want to cut something 1/4 of an inch. You're thinking, oh my gosh, how annoying. I don't even know if this is a good contrast, but 1/4 of an inch is the distance between your cutting line and the edge of the gray mat. So if you've got to go to cut something 1/4 inch, just slide to the edge of the gray mat. Similarly, 1/2 inch is this first solid line here. So if you don't want to count all the little eyelashes on the ruler, just know that 1/2 inch is this first solid line here on the right. 1/4 inch is the end of the gray mat. All right, here's another one easy to remember. 5 1/2 is the end of the white. Anything larger than 5 1/2, you're going to have to extend the arm, which is great. It actually goes out to 16 inches, and it has some feet on the to keep it extra stable. So you don't have it bouncing around. It just makes for extra stability. So you can measure up to 16 inches this direction. All right, I'm going to show you a little trick. You can cut a piece of paper diagonally. Now, I'll tell you in advance, this works best with designer paper thickness. Cardstock is a little trickier. You're thinking, how can we do that? This doesn't fit. Well, let me show you. Take your designer paper and bring the opposite points together. So square it up and go across from your corner and just do a little pinch there. Just enough to slide this under the track. You're gonna line your paper up to the top and line your point down on the track on your cutting line. So your points are down here on the cutting line, your paper is up against this top track, top edge. Takes a little jiggling. Press to engage. And look, now you've got your paper cut in half on the diagonal. That crease will wear itself out, and now you can, makes it great for a 2-page spread, or if you wanted to blend a piece of paper like that. So that's one great tip. Finally, another unsung hero, as I call it, is this housing. This white line indicates where the blade actually engages, where the center of the blade is. I'm going to carefully push there. It is 1 inch from the top and the bottom. Why does that matter? Well, that makes it easy to cut out frames. Say you wanted to save some paper. You know, cardstock gets heavy if you're doing multiple layers. So if I'm going to cut, let's say I wanted to cut a 1 inch frame. Put my paper on the 1 inch line here. Now, bear with me here. This white line shows where the blade is. It's 1 inch to here. So, and I have a ruler on top of my track. So if I want my blade to start 1 inch in, I'm going to put the edge of my housing on the 2. I press, I go all the way down to the 12. Because if my housing is at 12, that means my blade is at 11. So then I rotate. Put my paper on the 1 inch line. Put my housing at the 2 inch. Right there. Press to engage. Go down to the 12 inch line. So the end of the blue is at the 12 inch. And lift. Rotate again. 1 inch line. That's a little high there. You haven't seen that. Okay. Paper's on the 1 inch line. Engage my housing at the 2. Go down to the 12 because that means the blade is actually at 11. And we're going to rotate it one final time. Sometimes the inside starts coming out, so we gotta, it gets hung up on the, so just make sure everything is flush. Okay, again, housing is at 2. Go down to where? That's right, 12. Now, so it looks like on this side I must have lifted up, didn't engage all the way, so let me just go over here. It happens, keeping it real here, just a little bit section in the middle here. All right, now, keeping my Rycor tip scissors handy for little corrections. But this very easily makes this 1-inch frame that I can combine with another piece of paper and now I have this inside portion to use for mats or to contrast on another side. Here's one that I cut out of aqua cardstock. And you can see that you can just mix and match like that. So anyway, making the frames is a good way to save some paper and add a little extra decoration to it. Okay, one last thing that I want to show you is the use of the 45-degree line. Now this is mathy. If you know me, I love math. I love math. I love math. Okay. I'm going to grab a scrap here and show you another great feature. Now I'm just happen to make this scrap 2 inch by 3 inches if it matters to you. Okay, I am going to use this 45-degree line to cut a banner. How do I do that? I'm just going to do a little crease here. It's in half. I'm going to put it under my 45-degree line. And I'm just going to slide it up. Doesn't matter how far. Just to show you this feature. So this way, and I go straight up and down as long as my rectangle stays on the 45-degree line. I cut straight up and down. I've got the pencil tip and the banner. So that's when I did it in the middle. I had these two options. I could, of course, have just done it this rushed, but now this way my open end, my open side is facing up underneath the line. My top point is on the track. When your open end is on the top, you get the open-ended banner edge. And I still have this to use or not. So that's just another feature of the trimmer. The 45-degree line gets you some nice little geometric things. So, and that's it. So enjoy. I hope you enjoy your 12-inch trimmer. I hope I've given you some tips, and take care. Thanks.